This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design. Kiwi is the leader in Oculus Quest and VR accessories. And now, you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast.
The Oculus Quest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever find things could be a bit more comfortable, maybe a little safer? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and so much more.
And let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. You don't want to be that guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes now to prepare yourself today.
And you don't need to sacrifice comfort for cost either. Kiwi is constantly running promotions of 20, 25, and even 30% off.
Just visit the link in our show notes and use the promo code on their website to take full advantage of your savings. And be sure to follow the link in our show notes so we get credit and you help support the podcast. And remember, Kiwi has you covered for all your VR needs. This podcast is brought to you today by Zencastr, the company we choose to use for our interviews.
I remember that first interview we had and the stress that we went through trying to find a platform that we were going to host this on.
That's where Zencastr came in. With HD video recording and studio sound quality, we were able to connect seamlessly with guests all over the world.
I love the fact that it's as easy as sending our guests a link, they click on it, and they're connected.
With automatic post-production, secured cloud backup, and automated transcripts, Zencastr is the perfect solution for any remote podcast. If you want to make remote podcasting easy,
make sure you go to zencastr.com/pricing and enter the promo code Ruff Talk VR, and you'll save 30% off your first 3 months.
That's zencastr.com/pricing, promo code Ruff Talk VR. It's your time to share your story. Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR, where today we're going over the winners of the 2021 Ruff Talk VR Oculus Quest Game Award. It's our first ever one, so quite excited about this.
It's been a fun week.
Yeah, it's a silly little thing. Like we said last week, nothing too serious. We're not handing out trophies or anything like that. We don't have like a panel of 80 expert judges. The judges are me, Stratus, Podcast Pooch, so, you know.
Panel of 3.
Whopping panel.
One with a very quiet opinion about it. But
yeah, so
anyways, we had some good discussions about these.
Yeah,
are good.
It actually ended up a lot of fun, and I definitely want us to do it every year, and I think next year we have to add a lot more categories.
Yeah, we'll actually have legit awards too.
Yeah, this was our first one, so 5 categories made sense, but when we're discussing winners, like some of these categories, every one of the nominees could have won a win, and if we broke it up into different categories, you know, there were so many good games released in 2021. It was almost painful to just do 5 categories.
Mm-hmm. But no, like you said, it was meant to be fun and have a good time and kind of touch on where we've been. But
yeah, and just a
we've
first
got
ever
the results.
Yeah, so let's see. What category should we start with? You want to start with the non-game of the year?
Yeah,
I think that's a good spot to start.
Yep.
We'll do the same thing as last week too, where how about I say one, then you say the next one, and we go back and forth like that.
Absolutely.
So for non-game of the year, the candidates were Madrid Noir, Goliath, Horizon Worlds, and Brushworks. The winner, drum roll please, for non-game of the year goes to Madrid Noir.
Yay!
The crowd goes wild.
Yay! Nah, well deserved.
Yeah, we were going back and forth between Madrid Noir and Goliath a little bit during the week, and I think the final thing that set us over was Goliath didn't make both of us cry. Madrid Noir did.
Yep.
And that's hard. So
hit the feels.
Yeah. So just
so
off
hit the feels right.
If it brought the tears to our eyes, and Goliath was great too. Goliath it was free. It brought a great mental health awareness message. It was a tough one to go with, but Madrid Noir was a beautiful animation, great story in the end, and like I said, it'll touch the feel. So hard to not give them that. So let's go for the next one. You want to go to most improved?
Most improved. Okay. We've got Demeo, which is a good one. Population 1, Golf Plus, and Zero Caliber. And the winner, mutually agreed upon with very little argument at all, is Golf Plus.
Oh yeah.
You talk about an impressive venture that took place in the past year, and we'll even say less than that, from what that game was to what it came out in. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
I think it definitely deserved the win there. Demeo, Demeo's had a couple game expansions. They're on book 3 now. But I wouldn't say that those so much improved the game as much as just added a new level to it. Same thing with Population 1. Population 1 had a shit ton of updates. That's why it's on the list of nominees. But you know what? No game on that list, I think, brought something new to their game like Golf Plus. Complete rebranding, complete new game, pretty much, So, clear winner there for most improved. Moving on, you want to go Studio of the Year?
Go for it.
All right, so our candidates were Resolution Games, Vertigo Games, Big Box VR, Top Golf Inc., and Schell Games. With the winner of the 2021 Game Studio of the Year, we have Vertigo Games.
Yay!
Very well deserved there, too. Very well.
Like you had mentioned, everybody nominated for everything on this list. Anybody could sit down with a group of people and put out some good argument for any one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no hurt feelings on anybody.
No, I mean, all of those studios aren't just like a game studio that popped in for a one-off in VR too. These are game studios that put a lot of work into VR and the Oculus Quest. So, very well deserved to be on the list of nominees there, but I think we both agreed Vertigo Games gets the win this year.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So then next game is we'll do App Lab Game of the Year. Let you go.
App Lab we got. I'm happy that we chose to do an App Lab because we're the first ones to say they don't get enough love, and it would suck to have any sort of awards and not give any recognition to anybody who's put something in the App Lab, and those who have taken it to the next level, because there's a handful of those. But anyways, App Lab Game of the Year, we've got Arcaxer, Squingle, Color Connect, Crisis VRigade. I always want to say VRigade, but VRigade 2, and then Openbrush. All really good ones.
Yeah, this was probably the hardest one for me, emotionally to pick, because I think every one of these games could win a game award if we broke App Lab up into 5-6 categories.
Yeah,
easily.
I would say for discussion purposes, it's one that would probably cause the most discussions amongst a group versus some of the other ones where people would probably be more consensually agreed upon that. Yeah, that makes more sense. So this was really a hard one.
Yeah, to only have one category for all of the App Lab games?
Yep, Ooh. That's just this year. So the winner is, drum roll please, Arcaxer.
Ooh, yep, very well deserved.
And continues to
pump out content.
To upgrade. Yeah. So it's going to be really interesting. I would put him in every one of these actually on this list as a much watch.
For future content
in 2022.
Absolutely, and again, that was probably the hardest category for us to pick, just because all these game developers did so much work. Don't get the credit they deserve on the App Lab store. So I wish we could have highlighted all of them more, but Arcaxer gets the win there. So for Game of the Year, this is our last category. How about I read one of the candidates, you read one of the candidates, and we'll finish with a final drum roll, because this is a big category. This is for all of the marbles. This is the
first ever Ruff Talk VR Game of the Year.
Yep. For the Oculus Quest. Let's see. Our candidates, we have Resident Evil,
Demeo,
we have Township Tale,
After the Fall,
and I Expect You to Die Too. This is tough. All of these games, they rave reviews this year. Highly hyped. After the Fall came out late into the year, just the other month. And look at that. It's on our list. It was a sleeper.
As with Resident Evil.
Yeah, that came later in the year, and that one seems to have brought a lot of attention to Oculus itself. That seems to have grown the whole industry of VR. Demeo pumping out 3 different books this year. A Township Tale, a huge open world RPG. I Expect You to Die Too, the sequel to one of the best escape rooms on the Oculus Quest store. This was a hard category, but the winner.
And After the Fall. Don't forget.
Yeah, and like I said, coming late into the year and just probably.
Oh, yeah, you brought them up.
Right in the beginning. But just to highlight, that's probably like one of the best co-op experiences that we have.
I'll tell you, there were a handful of games that dropped towards the end of 2021, and I thought it was a pretty slick move on their part.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it paid off huge, especially with the holidays. And I agree with something you said, that there's some games that people were going to buy an Oculus just because of that game.
Yep.
And there's other games that people will play because they've bought an Oculus.
Absolutely.
So you are correct in that assertion of what you had said.
But nonetheless, the winner, the first ever 2021 Ruff Talk VR Oculus Quest Game Awards is Resident Evil 4.
Yay!
And, you know, kind of what we were referencing before, this game brought so much attention to the Oculus Quest. It's hard to not give them this award.
Yeah.
All these games were great, but Demeo you're going to buy an Oculus Quest for. Same with a Township Tale. You know, you're going to turn on your Oculus Quest, go through the store and buy it. I know so many people, I keep seeing it online, all these people, they buying the Quest because of Resident Evil 4. This is a game that not only was executed beautifully, plays great, it got rave reviews, and it brought new attention to the console itself.
Yeah, I think it broke some pretty strong barriers with misconceptions with virtual reality and what you could and couldn't do.
Yep.
And I think it gave people that want a taste for it a reason to actually go out and buy an Oculus. I agree. I mean,
it pushed them over the fence. People that were unsure of how good it was going to be because maybe they did Gear VR or some other, you know, Samsung mobile VR, some shit like that.
Certain titles that you know when they come out. I mean, one could argue Resident Evil has occasionally not put out the best content,
but it has a cult following.
But they've already been in that, you know, genre of platform gaming for years, or PC. So for them to do this was huge on their part too. I mean, they take risks.
Yeah,
but they knew they were pumping out something good. Let's be honest.
And it's not just big titles get big awards. Like Medal of Honor came out huge, and it was a good game. We gave it overall a good rating, but it wasn't the best execution in VR. Whereas Resident Evil comes out and it functions beautiful in VR. It's not just a good content game that brought this attention. It was executed well as well. You know,
no, it's a well-deserved game of the year, and it's going to attract not only, I think, more people to the Oculus, which we've already know is a fact,
but other developers
but
too.
other developers that are going to go, okay,
we can make a lot of money on this system, and we can make
want
it
our
good.
piece of the pie before they got the whole pie. So I'd say well-deserved to every single person that
was on that list.
Was on that list.
And you kind of reference, you know, I don't remember exactly which month Resident Evil 4 came out, but it came out, you know, the second half of the year. I was spending our early times in the podcast saying that game of the year was going to be between A Township Tale and Demeo. You know, I'm on record. That's on past podcasts. I was very vocal about that.
Things
change very fast.
Yeah. I mean, you don't expect certain things to happen.
Yeah.
And for them to be as good as they profess to be, or is rumored to be. Because as we all know, what you hear and what you see
are very different.
Yeah.
So
all the time.
It's funny, when Resident Evil 4 dropped, and then, you know, it was executed so well, that made me, and then we got the announcement for Grand Theft Auto, I was so like, this is fucking guaranteed to be good. The collector's edition of the GTA makes me a little worried now. So I'm hoping next year we can see GTA on the 2022 Game of the Year list, but it all comes down to that execution, which is where Resident Evil, you know, pulled it off.
Yeah, and GTA fans won't hold back either. So it's either going to be done really good or people are going to crap on it.
So just because GTA drops next year, you know, doesn't mean it'll win the award, because just because, you know, big titles don't mean big awards. Like I said, it all comes down to how it's actually executed, and Resident Evil 4 knocked that out of the park. So very well deserved there.
Correct. I would also like to say real quick that any one of those App Lab games that we mentioned, each one of them should be on the store in 2022. 100%. This doesn't make any sense. These are, I mean, we're giving them their own category for their awards because they deserve it.
Yeah.
It's like these aren't like slouchy experiences or games. And
yeah, my biggest regret is not doing 4 App Lab categories as well to make it, you know, 4, you know.
Nope, I think we will definitely be improving on this next year, and we just wanted to have a little fun this year.
Yeah, absolutely. But it like you said, all those App Lab games should be on the store. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, they're all worthy of, like, if you bought it on the store, you would never be like, oh, this wasn't a finished product. Yeah, there's games on the store that people complain are shouldn't be on because it's not even a finished product.
Openbrush, if that was pushed on the official store more, that could be a program that gets people to buy a Quest, because it's you're selling to the art community that maybe wouldn't buy a Quest for a brush for games, but now they know that there's a huge, you know, official app. That's huge. So I think that should be there. Crisis Brigade, that's a huge, awesome experience if you like co-op games. We had a blast
It's just
playing
fun
that one.
co-op.
Yeah, and it functions good. There's not issues with it. It's
No,
good
they've
graphics.
worked out all their
kinks with the first one, which
but
the first one should be on App Lab.
I think Crisis is the only one on this list that probably really enjoys being on App Lab.
you get a vibe from that?
Yeah, I just get this feeling that it's like, it works for them, and they got a nice little cult following with their games, and it's true. I mean, something's going to happen with that game. Everyone's kind of excited about it, and there's talk about it.
But I think if they went to the official store, I think it would sell like hotcakes, though. So
for a good price point,
yeah, absolutely. And Color Connect,
we've talked.
Yeah,
Color Connect and Squingle, we can't
both
say enough about. Those are
knock it out of the park puzzle games, each in their own different ways
unique.
too.
They each have their. It's not like they're not puzzle games that you've played before.
Like
their own experiences.
If we had a meditative app of the year, I'd probably give it to a meditative App Lab game of the year. I'd probably give it to Color Connect, and if we had a unique gameplay category, I'd give that to Squingle, because the way that all works is something I've never seen before. So all these games on the App Lab store, I can't stress enough.
Yeah, if you hear
they deserve an award, and they deserve to be on the official store.
I'll say it. If we're talking about an App Lab game, it technically should be on the store.
Yeah,
because we're not picking the worst of. We're looking for the best of.
Yeah, absolutely.
And these happen to be the best of. So give App Lab some attention.
But I definitely had a lot of fun doing this. I can't wait for next year at the end of the year to
it's gonna be so much work.
Yeah.
I already know.
We're already talking and planning.
I already know it's gonna be a pretty big deal. But yeah, we'll have fun with it. And I don't know. Well, I don't want to say nothing because I'm already giving spoilers.
Yeah,
so I won't say shit.
And you don't want to commit 11 months, and then things can change fast. But real quick, I also wanted to give a huge shout out. Anybody watching on our YouTube videos can see this now, but in case you're on the podcast, looks like Golf Plus sent us both some nice swag the other week.
Nice holiday package, which was really nice of them.
I just wanted to take this opportunity on our first podcast to say thank you. They sent us this nice box. I can even go grab it in a minute, but it doesn't really matter for the podcast game.
No, the word show.
Nice T-shirt, nice towel, nice custom golf clubs, golf tees, really cool stuff. This water mug. So, thank you to the team over at Golf Scope Inc. I'm sorry that you didn't win the studio of the year, but definitely well deserved on the most approved award.
Yeah, you still win an award.
Yeah,
you can't be upset about nothing.
Yeah, and nothing's political. I love free gifts, but you can't give awards because of that. But huge props to getting us that gift. So, nonetheless. Anything else you wanted to say before we wrap this baby up? No, it was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do it again next year. Yeah, so thank you guys for all the support we've gotten from you this year, and stay tuned for Wednesday's episode reviewing Forever Darts. Podcasting remotely can be a challenge, and when we first began interviewing developers, we ran into every headache imaginable. From connection issues, to video lag, to sound quality performance, we knew there had to be a better platform we could use. That's where Zencastr came in, allowing us to easily connect with guests all over the world. Zencastr is simple to use with no download needed. With studio quality sound, HD video recording, automatic post-production, automatic transcripts, and a cloud backup, Zencastr is the perfect solution for any remote podcast. If you'd like to have the same easy experience that we did for all your podcasting and content needs, then make sure to go check out zencastr.com/pricing and enter the promo code Ruff Talk VR, and you'll save 30% off your first 3 months. That's zencastr.com/pricing, promo code Ruff Talk VR. Zencastr, making remote podcasting easy. Hey guys, Dscruffles here. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe and rate us 5 stars on whatever podcast platform you listen to. And definitely don't forget to check out our official subreddit and join us there at r/RuffTalkVR. There you can join a community of other podcast fans, join us for some podcast meetup games, get first scoop on new episodes, interact with us a little bit directly, and more. As well, be sure to check out our official podcast supporter link, the Buy Me a Coffee link you can find right in our show notes, where you can donate to the podcast either one time, multiple times, become a monthly supporter. That way you can help us on our journey to make podcasting a full-time gig, so we can continue to bring you more great podcasting content. As well, be sure to visit the Kiwi Design link in our show notes as well, where you can go and shop for different Oculus Quest 2 VR accessories, whether it's knuckle straps, lens protectors, face shields, whatever. Kiwi has you covered. So again, visit the Kiwi Design link in our show notes. Help support the podcast and pick yourself up some sweet Oculus Quest 2 gear.